Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Stoking the Coals for Bench Burner Sports. I am Knuckles, and I'm joined here by Squared, and we're going to be discussing UFC 313, a card that happened. A card that happened. That was a good card, though. Yeah, it was a good card. Uh, Gave me similar vibes to the Seattle card, where the rest of the card was really good, or pretty good, and then the main event kind of left a little bit more to be desired. But anyway, we're going to talk about that. Talk about start at the top like we always do. And yeah, how you doing, Squared?
I'm doing good. I'd say overall, blanket statement, I enjoyed the card. As much as ESPN didn't want us to enjoy it, we pulled through because that's what we are. We're MMA fans. We pull through. And yeah, I enjoyed it. We'll dive in to exactly how we felt about it in detail. Um, but don't forget to follow us on our social medias. X, Max is tiptoeing by in his Jordans. Um, X at bench_burner, everywhere else, TikTok, Instagram, everything at bench burner sports. Just type in bench burner sports and you'll find us. We're on Spotify as well. If you don't want to watch the video, maybe you're at work or something, you want to listen to us, but can't take the time aside to watch us. We are on Spotify and Apple Pods and other places that I didn't even know existed that have podcasts.
iHeartRadio. I guess we're on there. I found that out. I was like, hell yeah, we're on iHeartRadio. That's what's up.
Hey, should we kick Max off the pod? He just grittied across the living room.
That's a finable offense. That
Yeah.
is a finable. Yeah,
Yeah.
he loses host duties for the next 3 episodes for sure.
Dude, I hate that shit.
He's probably like, fuck you. He's probably like, fuck you, I don't want to be host anyway. But anyway, yeah, everybody, we're gonna talk about UFC 313. You mentioned it already, but what I wanted to start with was, what the fuck is going on with ESPN, man? I mean, we all know that app is pretty insufferable as it is, but like that was bad. I mean, almost three fights missed because of oh yeah, three fights actually, I believe, missed by the majority of the people who view or going to view the card because of ESPN Plus. I mean, we talked about it. Cannot wait for this TV deal to end. I don't know what your feelings are on that, man.
Yeah, I mean, watching that, I started looking into it because I remember hearing a lot of chatter about, oh, UFC might be going to Netflix. And I was like, wasn't the deadline like January 2025? Like, I was like, they didn't re sign with ESPN, did they? I looked into it. This is like wall the things down. And I'm furious. I'm like, fuck ESPN, fuck the Disney company, fuck everything. And I'm looking it up, and I guess something happened where they extended the deadline. I don't know. Business jargon.
Right.
But I believe April is when it's like make it or break it. Like that's when it's done. I could be mistaken on that, but April I think is what they said. That's right around the corner. ESPN did not did not throw forward their best pitch with that one. That was a bad look because they're going to go into that meeting in April or whenever. They're going to go into those meetings, and that's going to be one of their most recent performances. That's not good. The UFC, they've been people are going to disagree with this, but the UFC's been putting up a good product. You could say some of the fights or some of the cards haven't been great. I wouldn't entirely disagree. I still think it's really entertaining. People can
Better than the PFL.
yeah,
Better than the PFL.
people can stop with the UFC is boring stuff. It's not. You get a couple stinker fights here and there, but we just had UFC Seattle. We just had Gaethje versus Fiziev that same night that people were saying that the UFC is boring.
Mm.
Regardless, the UFC is, even if you think that, you can't deny that the UFC is putting forward good numbers. They're getting a lot of viewership, all that good stuff, and that's what matters to these companies. So the UFC is doing good on their end. ESPN has not been doing good. That was not a good performance. That might be a nail in the coffin. We might see the UFC on Netflix, maybe not even Netflix, maybe just somewhere else rolling through into the summer. So, yeah, I think ESPN really shot themselves in the foot that night.
Yeah, I think that I was reading again, this is on social media, so I got to look more into it to see if it's true. But there's a lot of people saying that Uncle Dana and the TKO president, Mark, whatever his name is, the same guy, the same guy that said that shit about the Apex, is not entirely thrilled with ESPN on that. And honestly, with TKO being the parent company and Netflix being who they just partnered with for WWE, and seemingly, I think that's probably where they're going to fully move everything eventually. I mean, I'm just what I'm gathering because of how much success they're having. I would venture to guess that they're going to move UFC there too. And if they don't, I think they also have a partnership with Peacock, which I could see them going to Peacock. That'd be cool. One of those two probably is what I'd venture to guess. So yeah, I think, but I think this was the nail in the coffin. I think maybe the UFC was like, okay, ESPN's giving us a lot of money for these whatever event we can put on. Like this coming weekend obviously isn't a great event. They're still getting the same amount of money for it. But as you said, still a good product, even if people don't like the fights. You just got to be a hardcore, I guess, like us to enjoy them because I enjoy every weekend. There's some that I'm like, but for the most part, I enjoy all of them. But anyway, I digress. Let's move on to the card, though. Let's move on to the product that we did get this weekend, which was UFC 313. Obviously, some of us had to find some different means to view some of the card. Maybe we watched it back at a later time or something. But starting at the top, obviously Pereira, I guess that's how you say it. Alex Pereira took on Magomed Ankalaev in the for the belt for the 205-pound championship, light heavyweight. And Magomed Ankalaev came away the victor by unanimous decision. I was like for certain we were going to see a splitty coming in on that because, yeah, I don't know. It was a close fight. It really was. But Magomed came out with a unanimous decision, 248-47s, 149-46. 49-46 is a stretch, but I could see it. That being said, wasn't the most exciting fight in the world, but everybody's putting the blame on Magomed. Don't get me wrong. At least he didn't Mario Batista him for the whole fight, he only did it for like a couple rounds. And even when he did it for the couple rounds, he was still throwing strikes. He was throwing leg kicks back and leg kicks back to Alex and everything else like that. And it was an interesting performance from Alex because I don't put all the blame on Magomed. I put part of the blame on Alex. He just didn't come in with the preparation needed to fight a fighter like Magomed. I mean, I think he was so focused on the takedown that he didn't let his hands go. And that happens. That freezes a lot of fighters. I mean, that frees we saw Sean O'Malley not really have a lot of offense against Murad because of the same threat there with the takedowns. We've seen it with people who fought Habib back in the day that you just freeze. You can't really, when that threat is there. But I think that Alex honestly kind of overrated Magomed's grappling because he defended every takedown. But when you're being held position wise, then you're going to lose. We saw it with Mario Batista and Jose Aldo, same way here. I personally did score it 48-47 for Magomed. As much as people want to say that's bullshit, cool. That's what you want to say. Excuse me, that's cool. I just personally, I mean, I just think he won. I think he did more. He, almost I don't think he got close to finishing him at the end of the second, but if that round had gone maybe 30 seconds longer, could have seen a finish. Third round, he got him a couple times. And I think it was the third round was the coin flip for everybody, like the coin flip round. And I believe Magomed took it. Alex had a lot of good leg kicks throughout the fight. Magomed ate him. I think maybe Magomed, after taking a bajillion, well, actually, he only took, fun fact, Alex landed the most leg kicks he's ever landed in a fight against Magomed. And it was like 30 something like that, like 37, maybe. I might be wrong on that, but like it was in the 30s, maybe 40s. Jan Blachowicz did twice the amount of damage with only 23 kicks, I think, against Magomed. So everybody talking about Alex being the leg kick king. I don't know. My boy Jan, I'm still a big fan. I mean, he did the same shit with half the kicks. But anyway, shout out to though Magomed for either toughening his leg up or for just, I don't know, being ready for it. I guess he did check a lot of them. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't have too much to say. It wasn't the most exciting fight, but I do think Magomed won. You can't put all the blame on him as much as you hate that. And I know a lot of people that are going to listen to this or watch this or whoever does are going to be like, fuck this guy. Like, this guy's an idiot. Get the fuck out of here. Because that's all I've seen on X for the past 2 days is everybody just saying, how did he win? He defended all the takedowns. You don't understand MMA, man. You just don't understand it. Like, and it's cool. It's cool. I'm not calling you a casual if you disagree. Um, you could say he won because there is an argument there, I guess, but I don't agree. But yeah, my takeaway is I don't want to see a rematch. I'm just going to be honest. I don't, and that's what everybody's leaning towards, and that's what Dana's leaning toward. I don't want to see a rematch because I think it's going to be the same exact shit. I don't think there's going to be a ton different. Maybe Alex lets his hands go a little bit more, but I think Magomed also will let his hands go. And as we saw, almost in every single fucking Alex fight outside of the Yuri fights, he can be cracked and get stunned. And I think this next time, Magomed's going to come in with a better game plan because he gets better in every fight. He evolves. I don't think Alex can evolve in the same way, and I think that Magomed will just do the same exact shit. It'll be the same fight over again. I personally don't need to see it right now. I would like to see Magomed versus Yuri or the winner of Olberg and Blahovic, one of those two. Let Alex maybe fight at heavyweight. Personally, what I think he should do. Fight Sergey, knock him the fuck out, or fight one of those top dudes, knock him the fuck out, and then fight Tom afterwards, and then sail off in the sunset. Anyway, I've been talking forever. That's my take on the fight. This is the most I think I've had to say on Stoking the Coals about a fight in a long time, and it was not an exciting fight. I just had a lot of thoughts about it after the fact. So that's me. What's your thoughts, man?
Yeah, Magomed definitely won that fight, in my opinion. And as far as who to put the blame on for that being a lackluster fight, I would put most of it on Pereira, to be honest. He just didn't offer up anything really at any point except for leg kicks, which became too obvious. Um, and I say that as someone who said that that was going to be like a major pillar in his path to victory, but it just became too obvious and nothing else was going. Um, uh, you got to keep in mind that Magomed was fighting the most dangerous striker. So what he did was smart, first of all, was the smart thing to do to try and win the fight. But usually when people say that, it's like they're talking about someone who like, wrestle fucked against a dangerous striker. And like, yeah, that is smart, but it's also pretty lame. He wasn't just wrestle fucking the whole time. Like we saw him rock Poetan.
Oh yeah,
Put him in some serious danger. There were definitely some cage clinching and definitely some boring moments, but I mean Alex just offered nothing. He brought nothing to the table, really. And I think that's what really made it a very lackluster fight. That being said, I kind of do want to see the rematch because of reasons that you mentioned. You said that both guys would let their hands go a little bit more, and I think that that would make it a more fun fight. I think Alex will realize that maybe I don't want to say don't respect the takedown as much because then you will get taken down and all that. But like, I think he definitely will. He knows his capabilities now against Magomed and knows when he can let it go. And then Ankalaev knows that he's capable of beating Alex and not getting knocked out. So he might let it go a little bit more. And I think that'll make a better fight. It's probably in the UFC's best interest to try to get Alex the belt back if they can, if he
yeah.
can. And yeah, I mean, how that fight would go in a rematch, I don't know. They were saying that Alex had, I saw something about he had some kind of flu type thing and then like a broken hand, maybe. I don't know, maybe
Every
yeah,
time.
it's always something, but um I don't know if that is the case, then so be it. It's not even really worth thinking about because that's what every champion who's ever lost or anybody who's ever lost has said is like, oh, I had mono that fight. It was like, what the
Oh
fuck?
fucking yeah, I was gonna say fucking Sean O'Malley with his fucking porn, whatever. And just
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's always something, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind the rematch. I also wouldn't mind seeing Yuri get a crack. The thing is, I also just kind of don't want to see Alex fight not for the title next. So maybe he could sit out for a little bit. I don't know. You could put him against a trying to think. I almost said Rakic, but I think
he'd fucking kill Rakic.
Yeah, but also that just Rakic is on like a 2-loss
Two
streak.
fight,
Yeah,
two fight.
that wouldn't really make sense. Maybe winner of Olberg versus Jan, maybe a rematch versus Jan, or just sit out and wait for the next title shot. I wouldn't mind seeing him go up to heavyweight, but I also just don't think the heavyweight division needs that right now. They've already got enough shit and moving parts going in that title picture. Let's not throw Alex into the middle of it because that's only going to have him held up with some crap, and then it's going to hold up the division. Give Thomas fucking title shot is what I'm trying to say. His undisputed title shot.
Hear me out. You could do Cyril versus Alex.
I would not be against that. I would not be against that at all.
Two kickboxers. Fair.
That's fair.
I thought about Sergey, and I was like, wait, Sergey just put on the most boring performance. Do fucking Cyril.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Anyway, go ahead, buddy.
That's pretty much all I got to say about that fight. Yeah, it is what it is. It was not what you wanted to see from one of the most exciting and one of the most auraful.
Yeah, has a lot of aura.
Yeah, fighters in the UFC, but it happens. I think we all knew that there was a chance of that happening. If you were to tell me that he was going to lose, I would have expected it to go a little worse than that, honestly. I think I did predict that it would be I did. That was my hot take, was that this was going to be a controversial decision.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I didn't really find it that controversial. Some people did, but I didn't really find it super controversial. I think Magomed won. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about that fight.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say you did say that. I gotta stop. Like my picks are good. My main event picks. I'm 14-3 in the last 17. So shout out to me, yay. But I need to stop saying that every fucking fight's gonna be a finish, because I'll go back and listen to our episodes, and every single time I'm always like, yeah, this fight's gonna be a finish, and I'm like, it's the UFC. How many fucking we see a finish sometimes, but like. Magomed by decision was probably the most obvious choice outside of Alex by KO. Like that. Yeah. Why the fuck did I say? And I said Magomed would finish him. Why? Which, to be fair, in the second round is not super close, but you got there. But the next fight, speaking of a fight that I predicted incorrectly, I also, not only the method did I predict incorrectly, I predicted the wrong fighter. I said Fiziev would be Gaethje, but obviously Gaethje went in there and. Dude, I got to stop doubting Gaethje. He's that's the thing. He's almost everybody's favorite fighter because he's just so much fun to watch. Like nobody has him on their favorite fighter list, but realistically, when Gaethje fights, you're gonna watch. Because he's a fucking beast. And he did it, man. Like I didn't know how he was gonna return back from that knockout, and he just went in there and he did the damn thing, dude. I think he played it a little bit more cautious than I thought he would. Fiziev started out strong, did really well in the first round. But then Gaethje just started doing like what he did in the first fight, and he just started snowballing. Like it's like a snowball, man. He just starts picking up, and he finds spots, and he finds angles, and it's just like he says every time when he gets in the cage, it's going to be a car crash, and that's what he turns it into. I mean, his fighting in the pocket was so. I mean, beautiful. It was beautiful to watch. I missed a little portion of the fight, but I watched it back. Yesterday because the little portion that I missed because of fucking ESPN. I watched it back and I was like, man, this guy is beautiful. His ability to fight in the pocket is insane. I gotta see him fight I mean, fuck, dude. I know he'd probably get knocked out by Topuria, but if like Topuria fought him next and like they got into a pocket exchange, Gaethje might roll a little bit better with the punches than the other opponents did. Because he fucking is always doing this shit. His head's always rolling around. And
it was making me nervous at one point. Sorry to interrupt. It was making me nervous at one point. The way he kept dipping his head down to the same side.
Yeah.
He's going to catch that. Oh, shit.
I did, dude. I say this. There was a fight recently. I said the same shit. I was like, "Why is he not throwing a head kick? Why is he not throwing it?" It was speaking of
Toporia's
Topuria, it
brother,
was
yeah.
Topuria's brother fighting. Who did he fight? That one guy. I don't remember who, but he kept dipping his fucking head to the right, and I was like, "Why is he not throwing a fucking hook or a head kick to that side?" Because he throws and then he dips his head. But yeah, no, you're right. That Gaethje has and he does that in every fight. I don't understand. Maybe I don't know. Maybe he's got something. I don't know. Maybe they're afraid of throwing something and getting caught. So, because they're fighters, I'm not, So, uh, man, it was a good fight. It was a fucking good fight. I've seen some people say it was better than the first one. I got to watch. I watched the first one back earlier this week. They're both so good. Both fights were so good. Just Fiziev started getting worn out a lot more in this one towards the end. I will say, um, Gaethje eating like 10 body kicks in a row was super impressive because like Fiziev just and they were thudding. It was like pop, 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 and Gaethje just kept looking at him like, "What do you like?" And he did that too. He goes like that, and I'm like, "What is this man made of? What the fuck?" That would have folded anybody. But so shout out to Gaethje. Dude. I fucking love him, dude. I'm glazing him and I'll glaze him all day. I don't think I'm picking him against him. The only time I'll pick against him is if he fights Max again for some reason. Um, because Max, I think, just has the style to beat him. Taporia and Islam. Those are like the three fighters I'll probably pick to beat him. Outside of that, I don't know who can beat the dude because he just keeps He's a car crash, dude. How you supposed to fight against that? That being said, I always pick. Oh yeah, and also shout out Fiziev for coming in on 12 days notice and coming off the couch essentially. I mean, Fiziev's always fit, but I hope we see a little bit better cardio in his next fight. But again, 12 days notice. Gaethje said it in the post-fight interview that shout out, like he goes, he said 12 days and you have that much cardio still. That's impressive. Like he was impressed by Fizie's cardio, and I was too. So shout out to Fiziev, and he was all class in the loss, like entirely all class. The dude's great. Will he ever be champion? No. Will he ever be top five? I don't know. He's gonna be game against whoever he fights. Um, so for Gaethje, I would like to see him. I personally would. I say fuck it, give him a title shot, but I doubt they'll do that because they're probably going to go with Ilya. If not the title shot, then maybe the Hooker rematch or the book the Hooker matchup again. And if they don't do that because for whatever reason, maybe they think Gaethje deserves more because Gaethje's a company man. Um, do Charles maybe I don't know. I'd like to see that fight again. I mean,
Yeah.
who wouldn't want to see that fight again? And for Fiziev, I will. I'll say his matchup later because there's a fighter that I'm going to match him up with later that fought on this same card. So anyway, what do you think about that, man? What do you think about that fight?
Yeah, I loved it. It was a lot like the first one, real close. Both guys had their moments. Both guys took specific. I think it was pretty much the same, if I'm not mistaken. One to Fiziev, 2 and 3 to Gaethje. The first one was split. If I right,
Yeah, it's a lot closer.
yeah. So obviously didn't go exactly that way, but yeah. I mean, there's not a whole lot to say. It's Gaethje and Fiziev. Like that was going to be a fun fight. I think we all knew it was going to be a fun fight. I alluded to this in the preview episode. A lot of questions for both these guys coming in, and I picked Gaethje off of just the fact that I had less questions for him. My one question was like, "How are you going to be coming off of that KO?" But I also said I wouldn't expect him to be a guy that starts getting timid because he got his light shut off. He's Gaethje. He'd been knocked out before, not like that, but
Yeah,
we know who's going to walk into the octagon when it's a Gaethje fight. We know who's showing up. Fiziev, he's just had an unfortunate roll of things lately. It's crazy to think that he's on a 3-fight losing streak.
I don't fucking count that Gamrot shit. I don't count it, man.
Yeah, yeah. And it's been like the only like, and I thought Gaethje won the first fight, but the only like real like authentic like okay yeah he took an L on this one was that fight. Gamrot, he fucking blew his knee out, dude. Gamrot didn't beat him. Gamrot may have won, but he didn't beat him. And then that
I
first,
really wish. Sorry. I really wish there was some way. I mean, you got to score a TKO, but same way with the Tom fight, Blaze. I wish there was a way they could like rule it a no contest, but it's the
Yeah.
same. It's the same as if you break somebody's. It's like whenever Rory McDonald lost to Robbie Lawler because his nose was shoved into his fucking
Yeah.
skull.
Right.
It's the same thing. It's part of
Yeah.
the fight. But anyway, go
It's
ahead.
one of those unfortunate things that happens very infrequently, but still happens. Um, yeah, it's weird that he's on a 3-fight losing streak, and it sucks for him because, especially with the circumstances of this fight, came in on short notice, uh, hadn't coming off of an injury, hadn't fought in like almost 2 years or something like that.
Yeah.
But dude, he's that being said, he came in on short notice off of an injury, off of a long hiatus, and put up against the number 3 lightweight in the world.
Mm.
I think he's going to be all right. His next fight, he'll have a full camp. It'll be against a level opponent, and I think he'll shine. He's got a good future ahead of him. I'm not too worried for that guy. Respect the hell out of him for stepping in like that and being a good sport about it, like you were saying. Carried that loss in stride. Did really well. Nothing to be ashamed of. Uh, Fight of the year. That's my question. I'm trying to think.
Hey,
I
there's my
know,
phone. I
I
have my
know,
phone
I
right.
know I'm forgetting
Let,
one once you mention
let
it.
me pull up what let's see what Tapology has so far. 2025 MMA fight
I
of the
think there's one
year
that
because
was
they
that
always
long
compile.
ago that I'm just forgetting.
Okay. Uh, they're saying right now Tapology, which I never agree with their list, is saying Murad versus Umar right now.
Yeah, that was a good one, but
I'm just gonna run down the list. I see the one I think is so far, but Murad versus Umar, Yuri versus Jamal, uh, Roman Kopilov versus Chris Curtis, Cody Steele versus Rong Zhu. That's
that
I
was a
think it's
fun
up
one.
there. Cannoneer versus RoboCop. That wasn't bad.
That was a good one.
Usman or Magomedov versus Paul Hughes. If you haven't gotten a chance to watch that, it's a really good fight. It's
Oh
on.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Saeed Nurmagomedov versus Lokdog Oliveira. I don't remember that being like super good. Let me see. Um. Oh, for me, it's this one. It's Hawk Pross versus Ribovic so far this year. I think that's probably the one I would pick.
Yeah, that was a great fight. That was a
Yeah,
great fight. Wow.
yeah, that's probably the one. Cody Brundage versus Julian Marquez is up there. Uh, Diaz versus Santos was on the same card. Was a good fight. Uh, yeah, I'd say that's it. This fight, this year has been so bad for like good fights that let me tell you. Um, well, that let me see. I saw one that was why the fuck is it up here so far? Uh,
Strictly for PDP.
no, it was actually Almeida versus Spivak was number 17. I was like Jelton. I was like, and then hold on a second. There was another one that wasn't very good. Islam versus Moicano was 26.
What?
What? What? So yeah, again, that's why I don't really ever look at Tapology, but it at least gives you a comprehensive list. Yeah, Duplessis versus Strickland was 36.
That's insane. That's so insane.
That's yeah.
I feel like there was a fight like not that long ago where I even tweeted. I was like, "Oh, this is going to be an early candidate right
Yeah.
here." Let me see if I can find that.
The one I'm thinking of though is Ribovic, and that's probably mine right now. I would
Yeah.
have it slightly above Gaethje and Fiziev just because. Also, I just think every fight that Ribovic is in is just insanely fucking fun. But let's see what other. Here's a Tapology user. Let's see what theirs is. Right now, this Tapology user says Usman versus Paul Hughes.
That's fair. That was a great, great fight.
It was. That's probably the right answer right now. So PFL shout out. they never get shout
Yeah.
outs on.
Y'all got this one, you
You
slick
got,
bastard.
yeah, I would agree. It's probably that fight was probably because I did watch it back. That fight was probably better than Hackpass and Ribovic, but it's up there. Hackpass and Ribovic is like toe in the line with them. Again, I'm kind of a Ribovic purist, so but yeah, fucking good fight, man. Gaethje,
Dude, I should have bricked when he dropped him. When he hit him with that
dude.
uppercut.
Well, fucking, like we were getting everything figured out with ESPN, and Max says, "Hey, on, there's one more thing I got to tell you." I'm like, "What?" And he goes,
Oh
"Gaethje."
yeah. I saw him
I
on
was
the
like,
that to you.
I could have seen it. Like, if you let me, because literally, as he said that, I turned it on and I see him dropping him, and I'm like, I could have fucking okay, thanks, Max. For like, I was like, all right, but I guess thank you, Max, for telling me. But no, yeah, I was like, just again, that goes back to me saying his pocket boxing in this fight. That motherfucker was, dude. And that's the thing. Gaethje uppercuts are something they're beautiful. Like I think of the one other one I think of is obviously the Tony Ferguson or the Tony Ferguson or well yeah, I forgot. Didn't he drop Chandler with an upper? He did.
Yeah, I sent Chandler
Yeah.
flying.
But the one I think of though is because I always see it in slow motion. They're both winding up like fucking Homer Simpson. Gaethje and Ferguson. And Ferguson's just sails past his head, and Gaethje's connects, and Ferguson's just like his face is just. So yeah, Gaethje, man.
Ferguson land one though. I feel like Gaethje fell to a knee at one point in that fight. People forget because the rest of
He
it
did.
was.
Yo, no, Ferguson. That's dude. Outside of later in the fight when Gaethje was just when he took his soul, basically.
Yeah.
Ferguson was competitive.
Like,
yeah, Ferguson
entirely.
was competitive early on. Ferguson was competitive in that fight early on. But that's the night that El Kukui died, unfortunately. So, but
That's wild. That's wild that we can like pinpoint like this is where shit really changed. This is where
well,
things are very different.
look at anybody. Okay, outside of Dustin Poirier, uh, Habib, and maybe like one other fighter. Look at everybody's track record after they fight Justin Gaethje. Their careers fall the fuck off. Like not Josh Thompson, Tony, Kevin Lee. No, wasn't Kevin Lee, but it's Tony, James Vick. Edson's kind of been wishy washy. Fazeev 3-fight losing streak now. Yeah, there's several. If you go through, there are several who have had just bad luck since they fought Gaethje. Yeah, so Gaethje is a soul taker, I guess you could say. Mortal Kombat. It's like I always compare Gaethje and Robbie because they're both very similar fighters in the action style fight. Um, they're Robbie always used to say that I'm not going to take his neck, I'm going to take his soul. Same shit for Gaethje, dude. Like they both. God, that's a fantasy fight. I know it's two different weight classes, but fuck, if they could both make 170 and you put them in their prime, that would be. I'd. Don't flip that. But anyway, moving on. Talked about the top two fights a lot. Man, that's the most we talked about fights in a while, but that shows how much we like. I guess the top two. I mean, outside of the championship fight. But anyway, moving on to the next one: Jalen Turner versus Ignacio Bahamondes. Man, dude, I've always had my opinions on Jalen Turner. I think his skill level is there, and I'm going to say this right now for people that watch this, and Max especially, he knows I've shit on Jalen Turner forever at this point. And the main reason, and I'll say it again, he just is not intelligent in his fights. He makes mistakes that cost him the fight. He's done it multiple times. Hooker, I think, just outdogged him, but Moicano, I think he made some mistakes in the Gamrot fight that could have secured him the fight. I do think Gamrot won that fight, though, even though it was a splitty. This fight, you know, I don't, man, I just, happy trails to him. He said he's retiring. If he is, cool. I know he's got a lot of other stuff, it seems like, going on in his life. Skateboarding is a big deal. Maybe he's going into some stuff with that. That'd be awesome. I think he's a fucking phenomenal fighter. 29 is a little young to retire. I think he could have a very good career if he went to the right fucking gym, get the fuck out of Fontana, California, go to train with, I don't know where he trains at, so don't quote me, but go train with Nick Sick if you're not there already, which I don't think he is. Go train at Extreme Couture. Go train at Greg Jackson's gym. Go train at any of them, man. Go train with Henry Cejudo for God's sakes. I don't know. Just train in a better and bigger gym. Even ATT. I think Turner would thrive at ATT. Go there, train with those guys. Obviously, you know, like I said, Ignacio Bahamondes subbed him in the fight. Of all finishes to happen, that is not the one I was expecting. Bahamondes by submission, whoever had that on their ticket, you probably won a shit ton of money, especially if you had first round subs. So shout out to whoever had that. Also, Ignacio, I mean, give the dude some credit. The guy is evolving. Also, you got to think that the dude's got some ground game because he trains with the welterweight champion, who is a primary grappler. So, yeah, man, Ignacio, fucking love him. I predicted him to win the fight. Not in that fashion. I was for sure it was going to be a TKO or a KO. But shout out Ignacio. Man, he's just getting better every fight in different ways. He may I think he made some mistakes in the grappling exchanges, but ultimately he won, so it doesn't really matter. For him, I would like to see, because I mentioned Fiziev. Even though Fiziev probably deserves a better fight because of what he did stepping up for the UFC, I'd love to see Bahamondes versus Fiziev because I would like to see how Fiziev deals with that tall of a striker, and I would also like to see how Bahamondes deals with that level of a striker because I don't think he's fought anybody with that skill level in his career. So that's where I go with it. It would probably be, I'm assuming Ignacio. I haven't looked at the rankings yet, but I would assume he's like 13 or 14 in that range. Fiziev's 11. He probably didn't drop in the rankings at all. So give him a little step up. Give them both some time to recover. Obviously, Fiziev's face is a little busted up. Give him some time, but I know he's hungry. I know he'll take a fight, and I know he would fight Islam tomorrow if they fucking said, "Hey, fight him." He'd be like, "Yep, let's go." So that's the fight I'd like to see personally. Also, the size difference would be fucking comical because I believe like Fiziev's like 5'7" or 5'8". Bahamondes is like 6'2" or 6'3". I think he's 6'3". It would just be comical. And even then, I would probably still favor Fiziev in that fight because he's fucking Fiziev. But anyway, and for Turner, I say don't retire. I say go to a better gym, figure your shit out, get your head right, get your mental right. I think he's also like from the interviews I've seen, I think he might have been struggling mentally a little bit. So maybe take a little time off, balance it out, figure it out, and go get yourself a win. Go fucking fight Mike Davis, Frost Zium, maybe rematch against Redbeard, Redhead,
Redhead,
Steamroller, Matt Frivola. Yeah, rematch against Frivola. Yeah, there we go. Rematch against Frivola. See where you're at. That'd be perfect. So Jalen, do it. Let's go. What's your thoughts on the fight, man? What do you think about that?
You took the words right out of my mouth. Pretty much the same thing. Ignacio is probably going to get a good. I think that's him versus Fizzy is probably the perfect next step. Rankings wise, it makes sense. It's a good fight for both of them. Jalen Turner, same thing that you said. Doesn't need to retire. Just needs to be in a better gym. I tried to find which gym he was at. I was trying to do this Saturday night. I was trying to find what gym he was at, and I can't really find a concrete answer. The only thing I'm getting is RVCA, which I'm pretty sure was shut down.
Perillo. That's Perillo, yeah.
Yeah, RVCA was shut down though.
Yes, let me.
So is he just with? I don't know how that whole thing worked out. RVCA, like, dude, how are you going to spend your career working at a gym that's a branch of a clothing company? Like,
yeah, I was gonna say I have RVCA clothing in my closet.
Yeah, what gym are you at? Adidas MMA? What the fuck? Like, get the fuck out of here, dude. That's not good. I don't know.
He's at Carlson Gracie Riverside.
Okay. Okay. So yeah,
If
dude.
Tapology is accurate, he's at Carlson Gracie Riverside. So he's fighting out of Riverside, California.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like we say
But
this to every fighter that's like coaching isn't good. You and I both say that we're like, dude, go ahead and just head on over to Extreme. We just let
dude,
them
I will shout it.
send them over there. I mean, it is the best decision to make for them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's just clearly there's a disconnect between your
Oh yeah.
talent and your decision making in the octagon. That, dude, if you could just weld that together, get that decision making a little bit brighter, you can do some great things in this sport.
Oh yeah.
You don't need to retire. If he does decide to retire, respect that decision. But I don't think it's necessary. If he still has that hunger, that's the next thing is he might just not even have that hunger in him anymore to compete. So maybe it's best that he does just retire. But if he does have it in him a little bit, and maybe right now he's just kind of like so fed up with the ups and downs and the losing streaks and but you know how that is. Some of those fighters, they get those and then give them a little time. They like, all right, I want to do it again. Just go to a new gym and
Yeah.
you know
I mean,
hold things together. You're 29 years old. You got a lot of time left. Um, yeah, you don't need to retire yet.
you're a 6'3" lightweight, dude. Like
Yeah,
you're gonna find success. You're gonna find success. And he weighed in at 154 and a half. Like fuck. Like I
yeah,
think he wanted to prove a point. Like I can make the fucking weight. So dude, and he looked good making it. So also, if that gym is accurate, right now there are two professional fighters fighting out of it. Everybody else is amateur.
yeah. That's no good.
And the professional fighter that's fighting out of that gym is 4-2 and has suffered back-to-back losses by TKO. So that's the other.
Ooh,
Dalen, get the fuck out of that gym.
yeah,
So, yeah, man. Uh, yeah, just figured out. I think somebody, I've seen a lot of people on X talk about it. Uh, they think that he'll come back. That he'll just take some time. I mean, shit, he's 29. Maybe take a year. I know at lightweight you want to take advantage of the time, but when you're 29, take some time. Take a year or two, like a year and a half. Because we've seen fighters take some time and come back. Just don't do like Henry Cejudo and waste your fucking prime. Henry Cejudo. Uh, you know, so yeah, just don't waste your prime, man. But also take your time. Don't waste your prime. Take your time. And we've seen fighters who looked like they were done with their careers and they were just going to be left to be journeymen and come back and become world champions, aka Charles Oliveira. So you can do it, man. Anybody can do it. If Charles can do it, coming from where he was at, fighting on prelims against nobodies, they're not nobodies necessarily, but losing to having some questionable losses and doing it, anybody's can. So, yeah, Jalen, come back, man. As much as I talk shit, I want to see success. So, but all right, everybody. So the next fight up that we're going to talk about, not really talk about, but just kind of touch on because it was pretty bad. One of the probably like top three worst fights this year, Lemos versus Lucindo. Um, Honestly, kind of went how I thought it might go a little bit. Not gonna say too much. Lemos won. I picked her. Yay. Experience was too much. High level experience was too much. Yeah, don't have much to say. Lucindo's still young. She'll come back. Cool. Lemos, she'll probably fight somebody because she's fought everybody in the division outside of Yan Xiaonan. So maybe have her fight her. Yay, great. Cool. That's all I got to say about that. You got anything on that, Squared?
I want to thank ESPN for making me miss this fight. Actually, everyone's so mad about ESPN. I'm telling UFC, re-sign with those guys. They know when to make you miss a fight.
They knew. They fucking knew.
They got me
So,
right back in for Turner and Bahamondes. I'm good.
all right. Fuck. So yeah, that was a fight. And then the next fight we're going to talk about the last fight on the main card that we're going to cover. King Green versus Mauricio Rufy. Wow. Wow. Well, let's just, like, I think old King's getting a little old, and Roofy is the new dog coming in, man, and he put that man into the shadow fucking realm. King needs to either retire or find, like, he needs to fight. We're talking about he needs to fight the bottom like 30 fighters. He does not need to fight. And I think more so. Not only is King getting too old, Mr. Green, I just think Roofy, man. A lot of questions off the Yon Top fight. I just think Yon Top's tough as fucking nails, and that was why that fight was so tough. I think Yon Top could probably fight almost anybody. He's like a Dan Ige. He's not going to win, but he's going to fight till the end. This fight was Roofy's coming out party, fighting nerds, forever and always in my heart. Fucking love that team. Roofy was supposed, a lot of people were saying he's probably the worst of the four main guys. I don't know, bro. He's pretty fucking good. So reminds me a lot of people said it a million times, but it reminds me a lot of Conor McGregor in his younger days. Same stance, bladed stance, throws a lot of just crazy shit. Um, fucking love the guy, man. He is great. Can't wait to see what's next for him. Gosh, I didn't see it coming. He's good. He's good. So as far as matchups, dude, I mean, he might be in the top 15 come. I mean, I haven't looked at the 15 today. I don't know if they've updated it, but I wouldn't be surprised if he is. If he isn't, understandable. Um, I don't know, man. Match him up. Give him a favorable matchup, I would say, because you obviously have something there. So if you want to build star talent, you want to build a star, and the Fighting Nerds are a star. Same way what they're doing with Gian Silva, booking him against Bryce Mitchell, the right matchup. Carlos Praches versus Jeff Neal, that's the right matchup to make. Kaio, have him fight Rob or somebody, and possibly get a W there. They're matching these guys upright. So Roofy, if you're going to match him up with somebody in the top 15, Benoit.
That's what I was thinking. Jalen Turner would have been a good matchup, but
see, okay. Whenever I mention a matchup for Jalen or for yeah, that would probably be a really good one. Yeah, or even Ross Ziem, I think, is up there too. That wouldn't be bad.
I'm looking at the top 15 now. Probably want to avoid Grant Dawson.
No, don't. No, don't put Grant Dawson against anybody that fought tonight. Because
then after that, it's like, other than the guys we already mentioned, it's like Patty, who's booked, and why would he do that?
He would. Yeah. No.
And then Fazeev, Moicano, Dariush. Now you're up in the top 10 where it's like,
he did call out Dariush.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think Dariush deserves better after
what
happened. Yeah, I think BSD is a good choice. I was gonna say keep him the fuck, like, there's a fighter that deserves to be in the top 15. Surprised that they swapped him out for Grant Dawson, but Joel Alvarez. Any of the dudes who won tonight, keep them the fuck away from Joel Alvarez, unless it's Gaethje. But Gaethje wouldn't take that fight, and he deserves better. But because Gaethje and Joel Alvarez would just be carnage, chaos. But I think that Alvarez would. I think he's so fucking good. I think he'd probably beat Roofy and Bahamondes, if I'm being honest. He's just fucking good. So keep him away from those. But if you put him against those guys, it's going to be awesome. So maybe I was thinking Roofy and Alvarez, but if you do that, you're going to kill Roofy's star talent. But you would get a hardcore favorite in Alvarez a win. So, but now, yeah, Roofy versus BSD. I've been wanting BSD to fight Alvarez, but I would like Roofy more to build his star talent. So yeah, yeah. What do you think about that fight, man? What's your opinion on
that? That was crazy. So knockout of the year.
Yeah,
easy pick so far. Who knows what we're going to see the rest of the year? Got some good. It's
only March.
But
it's only March.
Yeah, but that one is taking the cake as of right now. Dude, there was a half a second after he landed the kick that Bobby Green kind of like turned like this, and I thought that he was I thought he was just trying to get out off the fence, he like kind of turns, obviously with the momentum of the kick, and he kind of turns, and I thought that he was about to just take off and get out of that get off the fence, but then instead he just kind of slumps down.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I didn't realize how clean it had landed because that angle, the angle that you actually see the knockout from was like from like if I'm Bobby Green, it's like right here. So you couldn't really see it super well. But yeah, I thought that he was about to just like take off and get out of that situation. Instead, he just eats the canvas. I was like, oh damn. Like, that was wild. That was a beautiful kick. Landed perfectly. Absolutely slumped him. Bobby Green, please fucking retire, my brother. Please, please put the gloves down.
40 fucking fights.
He's had a rough go of it. And I was this is gonna make me sound bad, but I was laughing because he gets knocked out and then like minutes later they're doing like a 314 promo and they're showing Bobby Green put him unconscious. And then minutes later,
You mean Patty?
Jalen Turner's fighting, and they're showing Jalen Turner knock him out cold. And I was like, dude, he's having a horrible night. Like, first I tweeted this, no one fucking liked it. Fuck all y'all. He gets knocked out, and then he's on everybody's highlight reel for the rest of the night. I was like, that's such a bad night he's having. Yeah, dude, he needs to hang it up. Respect to the guy. He's a OG. Forever cemented in the hood style. I think was like way back in his old day. Yeah,
the picture is just fucking hilarious because it's him with a shitty afro and he's just
fight style hood or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just one of those personalities that I'm not going to say everybody loves because I think a lot of people don't like him for whatever reasons. He's just that guy, but the dude's a brawler. The dude's a fucking lion. But lions, they walk off into the sunset eventually. If you know what I'm trying to say, like it happens, and everybody's time comes. It's definitely that time for him. For Roofy, old Scruffy Ruffy, I'd say BSD is definitely because you want to get that guy in the rankings at this point. And we just had this conversation, obviously, but like that's kind of the only one that makes sense. Number 15, so it's not getting him too deep in the rankings. After that, you're looking at Grant Dawson, which is just not a good matchup. And then it's just a bunch of fights that either wouldn't work right now or just don't make sense. So yeah, BSD versus Roofy next. That's all I gotta say.
I will say that I know how the UFC works. I could totally see them being like, "Fuck you, Beneil, fight Roofy." I could see that because like
Yeah.
Beneil is like unfortunately the redheaded stepchild for the lightweight division. They do not.
They're also probably looking at it like, let's be honest, Beneil's his time is pretty much up. Let's just go ahead and make something out of it.
He's like 40 for it.
To build somebody else up.
Yeah,
that dude's looked like he's got some dollars stacked up in his 401k for about 20 years now. Mr. Salt and Pepper Beneil Dariush.
I remember, dude. I thought he was like 40 when he first started. Like he had solid black hair, but he just looks old too. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And he was like 28 or whatever. And I'm like, no, like this guy's like fucking 40. Like, what are we talking about?
Like his frame, he's built like a door. Like his frame is the dad bod build.
Ben Askren.
Always been very wide. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Ben Askren build. I always call it the Askren build. It's just that, that solid. Yeah, that's the barrel kind of like, yeah. So, but yeah, shout out Green and Roofy. But yeah, I think you're right. Green, go home. I don't know. Make a clothing brand or something. I feel like he's stylish. Do something like that. I'd buy some fucking King Green clothing. But anyway, we're not gonna really talk too much about the prelims. We've already been talking for a while. It's one of our longer Stoking Coals episode. We just having a good time. Big card, big fight field. So we're going to. I will mention that I was sad to see Blades and Kuniev drop off, and Gutierrez and Castaneda drop off. But I'm hoping that the Blades and Kuniev fight dropping off was a sign for the UFC. Like, hey, don't treat your like number 4 heavyweight in the world like this, you stupid fucks.
I hope they try to make that fight happen again, and I hope Blades absolutely has his way with that guy.
Oh, dude,
I don't know
I
if that's
literally,
going
I'm
on.
picturing, I'm picturing it in my head because I've seen Blades do this like once before. I can just picture him, honestly, almost maybe dropping him on the feet and then just coming in and like just fucking like I mean slam it. I like I can see it in my head because well, he doesn't have the best chin. Blades is like when he gets going, he's fucking vicious. He just deserves better, man. He's one of the guys that I thought might win a championship one day, and he just unfortunately ran into Tommy, you know. But anyway, so yeah, thankfully that fight didn't happen, but maybe we'll see him just beat the fuck out of him later. But anyway, I think it's time, man. I think it's time for us to talk about our spark of the call.
Hell yeah.
Perfect timing. Oh yeah, I need the lighting change and everything. Let's go. All right, spark of the card, man. As you guys know, we do a spark of the card every card. It's up for interpretation. You can. Sorry, my fucking TV got loud. It's up for interpretation. Um, you can interpret it as the fight overall got you excited, the finish maybe got you excited, a moment in the fight got you excited, whatever. And for this one, for my spark of the card, obviously, if you guys have been following the podcast for a while, me and Max have been very high on one Bruno, the Hulk, Ferreira, whatever you want to say. I think it's Ferreira. Um, love the dude. The Hulk is a beast. I was like, okay, Armin's going to be a tough test because he's a very rangy kickboxer. He said, "Fuck that. You want to see me wrestle? You want to see me grapple?" And he's just like, "Oh, fucking." Pulled the what I did to a certain individual. He did. He fucking cranked his arm to the side, and I was like the image. There's a picture. Got that shit screenshotted. I need it framed on my wall, but it's just him cranking Petrosian's arm, and that arm like it's turning black and blue because he's pulling it so hard. Oh my! So it's the veins just popping.
Yeah.
God, man, I did not. Again, another one. If you had Bruno Ferreira by submission, I guarantee you cashed a fat fucking check on that one. So, can you imagine if they would have parlayed Bahamonde San Ferreira by sub? Can you imagine that check? Damn, dude, I got to start throwing some whenever I can finally bet in this state on DraftKings. I'm just gonna throw some random ass shit out like that. But my spark of the card, Bruno Ferreira, man, loved it. I was worried going through the fight as I was getting kind of fucked up, but he did crack him a couple times. But submission, mint, fucking loved it, dude. That got me pumped. I was like, yes. I was like, let's fucking go. Because before that, I was kind of like, okay, not bad, but that one, I was like, let's fucking go. So that was my spark of the card. Gonna give a also seems like sometimes we give secondary shout outs. Actually gonna give a secondary shout out, not to lay out. I'm gonna give a secondary shout out to Ozzy Diaz and Santos. That fight was very underrated, very good way to start the card. Not necessarily my spark because it was a bar fight, so it wasn't super technical, but it was fun. So secondary shout out to Ozzy Diaz and that Santos. I don't remember his first name. So, oh, I gotta.
Okay. My pick for Spark of the Card, I got a little abstract with this one. It wasn't so much well, it was definitely a performance. It's not anything crazy. It was the performance. It wasn't like a finish that made me like, oh, here we go for the rest of the card. But it was more like, oh, that kind of fired me up because of how excited I am for this guy's career. It was Joshua Van. Um, Dude, the performance he put on, the way he just completely disarmed his opponent. Uh, Never felt so old in my life watching like first time two fighters from the 2000s. I was like, damn, like, oh shit. I was born in 99. So like I'm right on that brink. But just hearing that made me feel like I was like, oh shit. I should probably like, I don't know, like get my shit together. I don't know.
Get your prostate checked.
Yeah, I was like, you know, started thinking about like adult things. I was like, fuck the mortgage. I don't even have I pay rent. But dude, he just looked so good, and like, every time he steps in the octagon, he just looks better and better each performance. And this one, it was like in the last one too. I'm trying to remember who his last opponent was before this. He was just
Tyrus.
yeah, yeah. I think
Was
so.
no. He fought. I think he fought after. You go ahead. Go ahead. I'm gonna look it up. think he fought after Chires.
Somebody,
Josh.
I just remember the way he's starting to really put his weapons together into a full arsenal, and he's just really
Cody Durden.
yes, Durden, yes, he's starting to really pick dudes apart, and really he's doing a great job of implementing his own will on others. We saw. I'm not going to call him what I called him on the last episode, but how do you say his name?
Oh, Ray Saruya.
Yeah, we saw him go for so many takedowns. They were a little sloppy. He was pretty tired, but dude, he was even like the very beginning of the fight when they were like fresh, very intentional takedowns. Dude, he was stuffing that shit, and he was just manhandling him. I think Ray had a couple moments, a couple good moments. It wasn't like the perfect performance. But dude, he just looked so good, and he just continues to look better and better. And it made me look forward to like his next fight. Obviously, a performance like that will get me fired up for the card as well too. I just got all excited for MMA, so that's going to happen. It kind of rides in, but yeah, mine goes to Josh Van for that performance.
Hell yeah, man. That fight got me going too. I mean, it's not a secret. I mean, for anybody that follows me on X and knows me, I'm not the biggest fan of Ray. I think he's going to be good, and I think he got humbled here.
He was trying to do some shit before this fight too. Last time it was leaning against the fence. This time it was like a
He was yeah.
he was like looking at the cam, trying to like riz me up. I was like, yo,
and like I think it's a Japanese. I think it's a Japanese fighter thing, man. I guess like Tatsuro doesn't do it, like Tyra, he doesn't do it, but like Kai kind of was the same way. Kai with the blonde hair and the sunglasses and shit. But I don't know, like
have this idea of, and I hope this doesn't come off the wrong way, but it's also just like true, so I'm gonna say it. They kind of, some of those Japanese guys kind of have like this idea of what looks cool in American culture.
no, I've heard that. It's not even good.
What they do is they end up looking like a corny 1980s movie.
Yes.
Tai Asakura, he did that before his. I remember watching this and being like, I know exactly what he was trying to do, and it looked like he looked like the corny 1980s guy. Like it was right before the fight, he was saying that he was going to make the flyweight division. It was right after the ceremonial face-offs. He was like, I'm going to make the flyweight division great again. And he holds the mic like this and he goes, and it was like, dude, no,
yes.
I cringed. So I was like, first of all, no one's done that since the 80s. And when they did that, it was a shitty, what's his name? Siegel movie.
Fucking Steven Seagal, yeah.
Movie. Don't ever do that again. That did not look cool to anybody. And I like them. I like him. I'm not trying to be an asshole here, but that was just so corny. And you can tell that that's what they're going for. Is like this will look cool for the American crowd, all the Americans watching me. And it's like, that looks stupid as fuck. Don't ever do that again, please.
Yeah. It's like the one thing that I like that any of the Japanese fighters has is Tatsuro Taira, when he wins, he does that like, I'm so happy, thank you, or something like that when he gets on the mic. He shouts that. I like that. That's like a thing. But like, I don't know what it is. Like Ray's fucking leaning against the cage and I was like, I said it, and I'll say it here too. We know who he is because we're hardcore fans. Nobody knows you, little bro. Stop. Like, stop. Josh Van is out here beating the brakes off fools. You don't see him. Like, he just goes in there and he's like, let's fucking fight. That's how you win over fans. Now, when you get to a certain level, like, you can kind of start putting it on, like Alex Pereira had the aura kind of thing going on. You build your star stock. You have one fight in the UFC. Now you have two, but you have two fights in the UFC. Chill out. You're 22, I think. Like, come on, man. You can do it. But yeah, no, Josh Van, dude, I don't blame you. That's a good fucking fight. And yeah, I think Josh evolves more than almost any fighter I've ever seen. Every time he comes out, he evolves. Like, he went from having not great takedown defense against Edgar Chairez to like elite level takedown defense against Cody Durden to like, I'm not gonna say world class, but pretty fucking close to world class against Ray, because Ray is a phenomenal grappler. So, yeah, dude. And next, watch the next fight. He's going to come out and probably face the best striker in the division and just knock him the fuck out flat. So that's just Josh Van in a nutshell. He's 23. I'm going to say this right now. He will fight for a world title at one point in his career. He will fight for a world title. I promise you that. And
the way he's putting things together right now and at the pace that he's putting them up against, it's not going to be long either. It's not going to be too far down the road.
Yeah. Low key, a fight that they booked a time ago until they changed shit up. They rebooked some people and shit. They had, I believe they had Josh Fan and Tatsuro Taira matched up. Wouldn't fucking hate it. Wouldn't hate it. I love it. I think Tyra might beat him at this point, but I don't know. Van did what he did against Ray.
I can get down with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. So that was the spark of the card. Let me see what else. Not really too much to talk about. I was going to mention the one last thing I'll mention is that worst robbery I've seen since probably Fakradinov and Leal. Myron Santos won against Francis Marshall. Shouldn't have, but unfortunately on the records he has a win over Francis Marshall. Francis Marshall got fucked. Just gonna put it plain and simple. Square didn't really get to see that fight. Don't watch it because it'll just piss you off. Or you do, and see what you score it. But every media member on MMA Decisions scored it for Francis Marshall, and I don't think I've seen a single person on X or any other social media I'm on score it for Santos at this point. So get the decision. But and also shout out Leal for giving a pretty nice knockout against Alex Morono, but we knew what that was. So
especially coming off another horrible robbery.
Yeah, I was gonna say he came in there like somebody owed him money and they kind of fucking did.
It's like the movie it's like the movie Smile, but instead it's like getting ripped by bad decisions, and Leal passed that on to
yeah. He's like, you're fucking dead. So good ass card. I think I gave it I think we started doing ratings last time. For pay-per-view, it passes the 7 score, so I'm gonna give it because the main event and also the late motion Lucindo and the ESPN issue, which really isn't the UFC's fault, I'm gonna get it 7-2 just because there was also the fucking robbery that happened. So yeah, 7-2, good card, but 7-2, and that's good. That's good because if anybody watches Dave Portnoy, I go off of that scale. So 7 is very good. So and I know Squared sometimes uses a different method than me. What do you got on that,
man? Oh no, I definitely do the Portnoy scale. I like to get specific. Okay. I like to get down to the decimal. That being said, I'm going to give this one a flat 7, even after saying that. Part of that's because I can't give a crazy accurate grading. I did miss the Lemos fight, which apparently sucked, and then I missed that robbery, which also I don't know if the fight sucked, but that sucks that robbery happened. But I liked what I saw everywhere outside of the main event. And even the main event wasn't that bad. I mean, we saw a guy get rocked. It's a championship fight. It has nice build up, all that, but it just didn't live up to that build up. So yeah, flat 7 for me.
All right. Well, that's not bad. So this was our breakdown is Stoking the Coals at UFC 313. Oh, one last thing I have to say. Somebody take Ali Abdelaziz's phone the fuck away. For the love of God. Please do not let him tweet for other fighters. Please.
He's making all of an asshole. This is a time for everyone to get behind Ong. It's going to be hard. He's already off to a bad start with getting the title in that fight. But then you're going to go out there and start shitting on one of the most beloved fighters in Yuri. Dude, you're going to make everyone hate Ong.
Ali's just like,
dude, it's like when Bella sleaze. Fuck that guy. I hate him.
And then he was sitting next to the FBI director, and he's a literal. Wait, can I say that? He's convicted of certain things. Let's say that.
Yeah.
He's what the fuck? Anyway,
motherfucker. I hate him.
Dude. The sooner that they get him away from the UFC somehow, some way, it'll be better. He's my least favorite manager. I'm gonna be honest to God. There's several managers I'm not a huge fan of, but that guy is. I get why they do it. It's a connection to the Middle East, all that shit. But, yeah.
Guy
So
who's
anyway,
allowed back into the Middle East, but that's fine.
but yeah, man, that was UFC 313, Stoking the Coals. Good card. Fun to talk about, fun to watch. If you didn't get to see the finishes in the card, go back and watch them. They're super fun. One of the best knockouts we've seen in recent memory. Yeah, man, good, good card, and we appreciate everybody tuning in. My closing remarks are just thank you guys for tuning in to every episode. We appreciate it so much as always. Square to probably plug all the do a quick plug of the socials like we did in the beginning. And yeah, man, and just give us some feedback. I always say that every time. Give us some feedback. Give us some comments. Give us a like, subscribe, turn on the bell notification, all that on all of our socials. If you have on, if you'd want to, even comment on our social media posts as well. We appreciate you guys so much. We're working hard at this. We're just a few hardcore guys that really hardcore MMA guys that really love
Just
watching fight and talking about
just some hard guys.
just some hard guys. Just bleed. No. But yeah, man, we're excited for this always. Interesting card this weekend, not the best, but obviously we're gonna watch it. We watch every card, so but we're not gonna break it down. So thank you guys for tuning in. Squared, you got some closing remarks, man?
Yeah. Thank you everybody for listening. If you made it this far, go ahead and drop a like, subscribe to whatever platform you're watching this on or listening to this on. Follow us on all our socials at bench_burner for X / Twitter, at bench burner sports for everything else. I think if you just type in bench burner sports into any platform, we're going to be the only thing that shows up. So just go ahead and do that. Follow us everywhere. Like this video if I didn't already say that. All the things y'all know. Y'all hear that spiel from everyone y'all get your content from. Just pretend like what they say I just said and then do that. We look forward to putting these videos out. We just have a good time making these videos, but then also we look forward to putting them out and then getting feedback. Drop a comment. Yeah, y'all know the deal. I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling now.
Yeah, no, same way I did. I get on a soapbox.
You don't know the deal. Drop a comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you disagree with us on anything.
Yeah.
And then we'll block you. Do this. Yeah. We like to know who our enemies are, so just go ahead and let us know. Yeah. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all, and we'll see y'all, I'm sure, next week for. I don't even know what the UFC schedule is right now.
Vegas and then London. We got London. So
London.
yeah, we got
it. Yeah. We'll do something for London, of course. We'll see y'all.
And then fucking after London, I think it's 314, bro.
314. That's gonna be. We'll be live for that one. Y'all already know it. That's gonna be a banger.
All right, guys. Appreciate you guys. See you next time. Peace out.